from Lashawn, the same day they signed Tory. The Smith beside me, yes. My wrist is shiny, yes. At all times, catch all signs. Shots fly, no Anakin. Olive Garden, rap towel fit inside a ramekin. Fucking breadcrumbs, turn breadsticks when that text spit. Cause that marinara soak you. Safety off, you ain't Joku.
Hey, what's good, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back to NFL Sunday, and welcome back to another episode of the Sports Syndicate podcast. I am your host, the man that bleeds Kelly Green, the South Philly psycho, Dom, and I am joined once again, of course, by my main man, one of Chi-Town's finest, wrestling podcast host, one of my co-hosts, the tribal chief himself, Devin.
What up?
And we have a very special guest this week, my main man, Nicky from Philly. Hey!
Yo, what's up? Thanks for having me on, guys.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for coming on with us. Glad to see Devin again. Glad to see you guys because there wasn't a lot to be glad about last week. I think you have a room full of angry Birds and Bears fans. Just, oh my.
Yeah. For if you're a big sports fan of your hometown and you know they didn't play well, you definitely felt it.
Yep.
Especially on the offensive side of the ball.
And I think we're all in that boat. So I think in order to just cleanse and move forward into week 4, we need to have something a nice little segment I like to call hometown bias. And we're gonna start with a bit of a positive topic, and then we're gonna move in, and then we're gonna rant. It's gonna be fun, guys. Stay tuned. I was actually kind of excited because I walked into this season thinking, I don't really have a current Eagles jersey anymore. And all of a sudden this week I realized I now do. Because my main man, one of my favorite Eagles of all time, Lashawn Shady McCoy, signed a one-day deal with the Eagles to retire with us. And it's bittersweet because, injuries kind of curtailed the end of that man's career after what looked very promising, especially in Philly and then a few years in Buffalo. But I guess the biggest question is now that Shady has retired and retired as a 6-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time first-team All-Pro, with over 11,000 yards rushing, like 90 touchdowns, and I know a lot of people sleep on it, but 2 Super Bowl rings because remember he was in Kansas City and he was in Tampa.
That's right.
So maybe if the Eagles would have kept him on the roster, they might have won a Super Bowl this year too. Shady's been the key. So the question remains: Is Lashawn McCoy a Hall of Famer? And since he might be a little more biased to Devin, I'm going to let him start. Nicky from Philly, go ahead. What do you think on this, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, obviously he's an Eagles Hall of Famer for sure. And I don't know where the hate comes in when it comes to McNabb and when it comes to Shady McCoy. Dude, they are top 5 Eagles of all time. If you like it or not, that's the truth. That's the fact. Hall of Famer, you did mention Super Bowls. You did mention, his accolades with the Eagles. Rushing title, he still holds that. In my opinion, I don't think so. But from an Eagles standpoint, yes, he's definitely, his jersey, whatever they do, he's his jersey's hanging from the rafters, so to say.
Okay, so you're saying like his jersey should go up in the Ring of Fame or whatever with like McNabb and everybody else.
Absolutely.
And I don't get that either, but I'm going to hold that, and I'm going to ask my man, the tribal chief here. I'm going to acknowledge him first. Do you think Shady is a Hall of Famer?
What Nick said, that was a good strong point about him being an Eagles Hall of Famer. I definitely agree with that. And I dare say it's actually debatable if he's a true Hall of Famer. I in my opinion, I think he is. I remember how he was utilized, in Philly. He was more of that, he can go through the tackles, but he can go outside. And he was probably one of the ones that kind of changed the game of being a scat back too.
Yeah.
So McNabb used that to his advantage. And when I think about it like that, you talk about scat backs, and I'm like, yeah, I could put him in my top 3 for when it comes to a scat back for that role, because you're just doing it all, just not through the trenches, but through the air. You got to have the hands, you got to have the feet. So he's doing it all. So I would definitely dub him, in my opinion, as a true Hall of Famer, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, as far as Shady goes, man, I absolutely adored that guy. Like, I watched him week in and week out, and I was drawing comparisons like every week. Like, oh, you see the way he can run, yet catch the football out of the backfield and break these big plays. He's like Marshall Faulk. Or did you see that spin move where he spun off and went back 5 yards to gain 15? That's the Barry Sanders type shit right there. Like,
Yeah.
Shady was a little bit of everything. He had size, he had speed, he could catch the ball, he was elusive, and if Chip Kelly was smart, he would have kept him. Because if you remember that year, he was in his offense with Mike Vick.
Yeah.
And then the very next year, they were trading him for like Kiko Alonso so that the Eagles could have a team that led the league in knee injuries. I don't know what the fuck happened there, folks, but go back and look. It's a fact.
Yeah.
But I mean, and there's so many games. I mean, the snow game is the first one that sticks out in my head.
Absolutely.
He mowed over the Detroit Lions like the Sith did on Hoth. Just
Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And just watching the man, looking at what he looking at his numbers and thinking about what could have been if he hadn't been so beat up towards the tail end of his career. I agree with Nick. I agree with both of you. He should definitely be in the Eagles Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Famer. I don't know if he's like a borderline first ballot. I don't know if I put him that far, but I think Lashawn McCoy should be in the Hall of Fame somewhere in the near future. He was a tremendous talent, and I'm personally going to miss him. I wish he never left.
Yeah. Well, that's what he said too.
Yeah, I heard that. He wished he never left. And it's like, we didn't want you to go. Fuck Chip Kelly.
Exactly.
Kiko Alonso can kiss my ass.
Yeah.
Every time he came and played against the Bears, I was scared of him. I was worried about him, man.
Yeah,
like, because he exactly. He's a weapon. He was a weapon.
Nothing against Andy Reid. I still love that guy to this very day. But Andy didn't really utilize him as much because Andy is kind of allergic to running the football.
Yeah.
And that's how Shady had to become a dual threat, because a lot of it was going to be the screen game coming out of the flat, that type of stuff. But when he got with Chip Kelly and then they put Mike Vick in at quarterback,
changed it. Yeah.
Those two were unstoppable.
Remember the first game against the Redskins, dude?
Oh
my God.
That beat
got
down.
Us so excited.
I was so happy.
Yeah.
That was just me drooling, thinking, oh my God, if we kill everybody like this year. Man, like,
it didn't end up that way.
Yeah, we all went from thinking Chip Kelly was a savior to Chip Kelly was an idiot in like a fucking year. It was that fast. It wasn't even 12 months. It was like, he's what? Sam Bradford, why?
Oh God. Forgot about him.
The only thing Sam Bradford ever did for us was get us a first round pick.
Yeah.
But I know we're putting our votes in on Bleacher Report. They had asked the question if Shady was a Hall of Famer or not, and after almost 18,000 votes, 65% said yes.
Wow.
So I think it is decided. I don't know. I don't want to go that far with the tribal chief to the side of me.
Honestly, I don't think there is a right or wrong answer for Shady McCoy when it comes to if you think he's a Hall of Famer or not.
Yeah.
Because this points to be made on both sides, I believe.
Yeah.
True. But if you think he's not, you're wrong. Not so I'm saying. All right, so now that we've gotten into an Eagles topic, and we will jump back because we've got a couple here, but I know Devin had to suffer an extra day than we did, so we're gonna jump into this Bears debacle from last week. I mean, we first of all, if you watched episode 1, Devin and I both said Justin Fields needs to sit and wait. Well, obviously they didn't feel like sitting him and waiting for it, even though you had Nick Foles anyway. They just nope, we're putting the kid in. The kid got sacked 9 times.
Jeez.
What was he, like 6 for 20?
Yeah, exactly, man.
I mean, I think he gave Myles Garrett
7 net yards.
Yeah, I think he gave Myles Garrett the NFL league leading sacks in one game.
Yeah.
in one game.
He was riding my bench last week in fantasy, and he got me like 1 point, so 1 or 2 points.
Yeah,
You're
he got me
smart.
about 3 points because I
You're
got
a
him
smart
in my
man.
fantasy too.
You're a smart
He's
man.
on my
Hopefully,
bench.
Devin put him on. Okay, he's on the bench too. Good. That's where he belonged. We already said it in real life. Fuck fantasy. He belongs on the bench, and he kind of proved it. But we've got Dalton with the knee injury. Now Justin Fields has apparently hurt his hand.
Oh.
And Matt Nagy has said any of these three quarterbacks could possibly be starting on Sunday. And we don't know which one it will be. It's a game time decision. And they're playing the Lions, so it's not like this is a huge game with a dangerous team they got to worry about. This is the Lions, all right?
Yeah.
and he won't announce the starting quarterback until like the very last minute. So I'm gonna turn to Devin. I'm gonna ask you A, for your general thoughts, and B, not even if Matt Nagy is on the hot seat, how many games do you think Matt Nagy's going to last at this point?
Honestly, because just the way that the Bears organization is, I don't know how you guys outside see it, but since I'm local, I know how the Bears organization works, and because of that, he'll make it through the season. He don't have to worry about this. Wow. He don't have to worry about getting fired mid-season. After the season, we'll see. But even after that, I won't even be surprised if he makes if he's here next season, man. It's just asinine what Ted does, who's the president, son of the owner.
Okay.
It's the way he has, the organization set up from Ryan Pace all the way down. Pace, first time going in the draft, he went up the draft to go get his quarterback, which he didn't need to.
Mitch.
Trubisky, I'm like,
oh yeah.
Why would you
Did
waste
nobody else
why
want
would you
him?
waste a trade like that? And everybody, just sitting back laughing at him. He was like, 49ers like, we was not gonna pick him. He didn't know. There was no reason to trade.
Could you imagine being the 49ers GM getting that call and he's like got him on mute going, they think we're going to take Mr. Trubisky. Should I lie?
Exactly, man.
Oh, yeah, he's our next pick. What do you give us for?
But that Sunday game was a disgrace. It was Matt Nagy. He is not a coach. He's not a play caller. That offense was not designed for Justin Fields. I could tell you that.
Yeah.
Because they didn't even try to move the pocket. No bootlegs. I think I seen a bootleg, but that came maybe late in the third or fourth or early in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was too little, too late. And then what was sad, after the first half, and we go into the second half, I didn't see any type of adjustments.
Yeah.
That is scary. And that just showed me how inept are you as a head coach and a play caller too, man. And real talk, as a leader, because you should be able to, self-examine and take feedback, take criticism, and then, and move accordingly. And I don't see none of that. Last year he showed a glimpse of that when he removed himself, fired himself as a play caller. Great move. All right. And then you saw the offense started moving efficiently. It wasn't like, just an all-star, but it was moving efficiently.
No, I was about to say that.
And then we come into the new season. We get, Nagy said he got his quarterback. I'm like, cool. Yeah. And now we got Justin Fields playing, and we see, and then now we have him back in the play caller position, and I don't see anything you're doing to help out your quarterback.
Yeah.
Anything they do to help out your quarterback.
Yeah.
Not even trying to run the ball. And then it was crazy that the first play was a running play. I think Montgomery went for 16 yards. And after that, it was just like, stop running the ball. You just want to go and do like 4, 5, 7 drop step.
That feels familiar.
No. Yeah,
Let's just stop running the ball. It's a bad idea in every game. I don't care how far you are.
Personally, he should be fired. If I was the GM, or not even the GM, if I was the owner, I would just fire him mid-season.
Yeah.
Because you're not protecting my investment. Justin Fields is the future. This is maybe a once-in-a-lifetime quarterback for Chicago.
Right.
For Chicago. We have a history of bad quarterbacks. You know, when we got Jay Cutler in 2008, I was one of the few guys that was like, yeah. Oh, not few, everybody. You know, all the meatheads, all the Chicago, like, yeah, we got him. Then first game, throws an interception, pick 6. I'm like, oh shit.
Here we go.
You know, Brett Favre part 2.
Oh yeah.
You know, but yeah. Man.
Yeah, I mean, with the Bears, I feel for him because it feels like they got probably the worst branch off the Andy Reid coaching tree. I mean, you know, other guys have stepped out, like Doug Peterson. You know, say what you want about him last year. I didn't think he deserved to be fired, but he was a damn good coach. He won a Super Bowl. He took the Eagles organization from what Chip Kelly had destroyed and rebuilt it and brought them to a Super Bowl. You know, there's a few other guys from Andy's coaching tree who are out there and having success, and Matt Nagy just hasn't. And he keeps saying, like Devin said, like, this offense isn't built for the quarterback he has. When can he build an offense for the quarterback he had? Because in the last few years, he's had, you know, Nick Foles, Mitch Trubisky, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields. These are all different types of quarterbacks, and none of them work in the system. If that's the case, the system sucks. Therefore, you do. Yeah. So that's why I said it's not a question of if he's in the hot seat. It's more like how many games he'll last. And considering, like Devin said, that they took the play call, or he took himself out of play calling and everything, and they got better. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they just go, you know what, fuck you, we're firing you. We're going to make our offensive coordinator the interim head coach, and we're going to see what we can do.
Actually, I would be surprised because that's not within, you know, because Chicago's Bears, you know, the big heads, the big wigs, the organization itself, they don't move like that. They don't move like you know, Phillies GM, a Phillies organization, you know, one of these metropolitan areas.
Please. Yeah. Eagles have
Chicago Bears. I don't know why they move at a snail's pace when you have somebody like a rotten apple, not good for your offense, just not good for your team. You need to get rid of that bad apple.
I mean,
it spreads out.
I'll be honest. I don't even know how Howie Roseman still has a job because he has been through so many coaching regimes and so many shit seasons, and he's still there.
Yep.
And when they were firing Doug Peterson, I was like, no. Fire him. He needs to go. He was here when Andy Reid was losing. That was years ago. And now he's here while Doug Peterson is losing. It's happening all over again, and it's on his watch. Get rid of him, and he's still there. I can't even fathom it. You know, I can't blame him for that trade that I was talking about because Chip Kelly had the power that year and decided that Shady had to go. Yeah. But there have been some wild trades too, as far as on Howie's watch. Yeah. And they didn't work out very well either.
From Devin. My bad.
I was just about to kick it to you, Nick. Go ahead.
Yeah. From an outsider, like you brought up in the beginning. Yeah. Why not start Justin Fields? I mean, the whole city of Chicago wants that to happen. And you know what Dom said, maybe, you know, Fields is not the he doesn't fit the system, and that's not his fault, you know. That's Nagy, that's the front office. Why not start him number one? I mean, Dalton, it showed that he didn't have what it took in Dallas. Foles, he won us a Super Bowl, but that's something you'll never ever see again. Why not just put him in? I mean, we're doing it with Hurts. I mean, it's an experiment. He is not going to be an MVP, you know, type player this year. We get that. And now that's why we have a rookie coach. That's why we have a rookie, you know, coordinator, offense, defense, whatever.
Practically rookie quarterback.
Yeah. I mean, wide receivers, even rookies, but why not? I mean,
because Ryan Pace did not build an offensive line to protect his investment. That's just real simple. Yeah, he wasted a lot of money on big acquisitions, trade picks. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? And mostly on the defensive side of the ball too. He didn't really, you know, protect his QBs, build an effective offensive line like Dallas Cowboys. I give him credit like that, man, when they had a crazy ass line a few years ago. But that's the reason why, man. I don't want, you know, if we had a decent line, I'm all for it. See what the kid got and see if he can learn from his mistakes. But since we don't, I don't want him to get hurt.
Yeah.
And then and no telling how he can how he'll respond from that too. Yeah. So I don't even want to play with that type of ammo, man. So I'm fine.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Sitting Fields,
like protect the kid, let him learn, let him come along. I mean, we as the Eagles, we did it last year with Jalen Hurts, and people were like, "Why are you benching Carson Wentz? Why are you?" Because he's getting killed. Yeah. At least Jalen Hurts can run. Yeah. Like Carson Wentz was getting sacked, was getting destroyed, was turning the ball over, and at that point, if the veteran is going to play like a rookie, then you might as well play the rookie who's more athletic and might run before he gets killed. Yeah. So I understood it then, but in this situation, I don't know if it's the best idea to play Justin just yet.
Just yet.
Like even if it means going with Nick Foles on Sunday, you probably stand a better chance and you protect your investment. Whereas, what else are you going to do with Nick Foles? He's sitting around making a good chunk of money and nobody wants him.
Killing our cap.
It is a tough decision though to make, honestly.
It's a very tough decision.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do with rookies. Bench them, show them the ropes. Exactly. But in this situation, it's like I said earlier, Dalton doesn't have it. Foles, okay, maybe. But I don't know. It's tough. It's a tough decision.
Yeah. I mean, you go with the guy who knows the offense the best. You go with Nick Foles, because he's been there. He actually won him a couple of games last year. He played okay. Whereas Andy Dalton has been like up and down. Justin Fields has just not looked good.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to make the tough decision to talk about the Monday Night Football game. Jesus
No,
Christ.
Don't do it. Here.
My God.
Let me take a swig first.
Yeah, I might need one too.
You run the ball 3 times. I'm sorry.
We're gonna get. So no, you're fine. You're fine.
I'll let you guys get it out. Go ahead and get it out. Express yourself.
The Eagles got housed by the Dallas Cowboys 41-21. It was ridiculous. It was sad. It was just painful to watch at times. I think by the end of the third quarter, I was strictly watching Monday Night Raw. I was like, no, fuck it, I'm done. I don't even want to know the last score. We ain't coming back. It's not happening. And man, did everything that could possibly go wrong. It was like Murphy's Law on Monday night. Anything that possibly could happen, it happened and went wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to hold my shit in for a minute because I've been monopolizing. Let's let Nicky from Philly weigh in on this first. Yeah. What is your take on the Monday night debacle that was?
It was tough to watch, and I'm with you on that. Third hour Raw, that's what I was watching. It just I was
like, oh, Big E versus Lashley in a cage? Yeah, fuck that.
Exactly. I mean, just to begin, like I said, 3 running plays. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. I understand that our coach was a wide receivers coach. I get it. Throw the ball. I understand that. But it just it didn't seem like he had a game plan. He just seemed like he was coming off a pretty good week 1, and he thought he could duplicate that, but he did not, and it was just really, really hard to watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I absolutely agree with you, man. I think you're very close on the assessment. It's like he came in with a game plan, but wasn't it Tyson that said everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth?
Punch in the face, or mouth,
And the Cowboys came out and punched them right in the fucking mouth. Marched right down the field and scored, and then came up with a pick in the end zone. I know the defense turned it into a touchdown.
Yeah.
But god damn, from the 7-7 tie, things just got ridiculous. Like they were throwing on every down. Their defense was on the field for 90% of the first half. And and like Nick said, the running game, I don't know. You can't blame them for being ineffective when they only ran 12 times for 64 yards. And Miles Sanders had 2 of those carries for 27.
I was just about to say, I'm like, why would you stop?
like week one. His
average is 13.5. He's running 13.5
Give him
yards.
The damn ball, right? Because like week 1 against the Falcons, they had almost 200 yards rushing. They followed up with the week 2 loss. They had 151. In the week 3 loss, they had 64. even though they only ran the ball 12 times, they had 64 yards.
Yeah.
Why aren't you running the ball, especially when your quarterback looks shook?
Yeah.
Like after that pick, Jalen Hurts was shook. He had happy feet in the pocket.
Yeah.
He was missing open targets. He had the pick six to start the second half.
Yeah.
Run the ball, take the pressure off the young quarterback. And Nick Sirianni's offense, whether it's in Indianapolis or even go back to San Diego, it was predicated on the running game. He had Phillip Rivers, but they would still run the ball 30 and 40 times a game. Go back last year, Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines. They ran the ball, they pounded it at you, and then they hit you with big plays off the play action. And they did that in week 1. In week 2, it started to go away. In week 3, it was non-existent. Stick to your game plan.
Yeah.
Go with what works for you. I don't even care if you want to come up with like a Ravens type offense with Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders and that type of thing, where you just run the ball in different ways 40 times a game.
Run the option.
Because it's going to help protect your young offense. It's going to help keep your defense off the field and fresh. And we've already lost Brandon Graham.
Yeah.
We've had a couple of other guys on the D-line banged up. I think we might be missing a safety this week. Like take the time, grind it out, control the clock, and then look for the big plays if it's a tight game. If not, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Just keep doing it. You can, if you can, why not?
Yeah. And another thing too, successful teams have really good tight ends. Luckily, we have 2 really good tight ends. I don't know how many times I saw Ertz on the sideline and Goddard in, and vice versa. Ertz playing in on the field, and then Goddard on the sidelines. Use them both.
If you're gonna take exactly. If you're gonna have those 2
tight end, and Cowboys was actually doing that.
Yeah. Dalton Schultz had like a career day against us. It was ridiculous. But yeah, if you're gonna, I'm with you on that. If you're gonna have these 2 major tight ends, don't take one of them off the field to bring in a slot receiver who doesn't have the talent that the tight end does.
Yeah.
Go to tight end, go to wide receiver. They did it. They did it last year in Indianapolis all the time because they had 2 tight ends. They had like a younger guy and then they had Jack Doyle, and they put them both on the field and they flanked their receivers out and they ran the ball. Or they went play action and they used their tight ends over the middle.
Exactly.
We could be doing the same damn thing.
Yeah. And
only better because I think our tight ends are better than the Colts were last year.
Yeah. And don't tell me Ertz doesn't have anything left. That's a bunch of bullshit. Yeah.
He showed in that Cowboys game that he has something left because he had a nice little game in that one. Unfortunately, he was one of the few that had a nice little game in that one. But I did love when Jalen Hurts was asked about the game. He put it on himself.
Oh, my God.
And he even said directly, like, Miles has got to get his. Like, I can't be the focal point of the offense. This guy is a tremendous talent. He might be the second coming of Shady, the way he can, work all 3 downs and be explosive and turn a 4-yard gain into an 80-yard touchdown and that kind of thing. When he said that, I was like, okay, maybe we still got some hope for this guy and this team. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe not this week, maybe not for a few weeks, but maybe down the line, I'm seeing things in this kid even when things aren't going well. He's taking it, he's owning it, he's trying to work through it.
Yeah.
Leadership traits,
shows a lot of maturity for a guy who's had like 8 starts,
Yeah. Well, he understands, man. He even understands that game that it's no reason that he should be throwing that ball for damn near 40 times.
Yeah.
To have a capable quarterback in Sanders, and he understands like he should have been getting his, man. Because look at the Cowboys. Look what they did with that Prescott. He threw the ball 26 times, 238 yards, zinging it. Got the zinger 3 times, touchdowns. Ezekiel Elliott on the ground 95 times. Pollard right behind him 60.
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, they ran like 40 or more times, and they threw it 25, and they won. And go back to the Chargers game, it was the same type of thing. It was a lot of Zeke and Tony Pollard, and Dak was just peppered in, throwing 20, 25 times instead of week 1 where he threw 60 times. And which game did they lose, and which 2 did they win? The ones where they were run heavy, right? So if they're doing that, and they've got Dak Prescott, why aren't we doing it with Jalen Hurts? Why aren't the Bears doing it with Justin Fields? Because they got a damn good running back, too. Yeah. Like, Montgomery is no fucking slouch.
No.
So,
in fantasy last year, man. He was one of the reasons why I am your 2020 champion.
I have
Man.
Miles Sanders. I have Miles Sanders, and he was on my bench last week. Thank God.
Yeah.
Because Devin and I are both struggling with Christian McCaffrey out, and I was like, I'm still not
me
using
too.
Miles Sanders. I'm not doing it. I'm not
Well,
doing it.
I got Hubbard back off the waiver wire. It's crazy because my last pick in the draft, I'm like, let me draft Hubbard just in case McCaffrey gets hurt.
Yeah.
And
look what
I
happened.
dropped him too early.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Well, I think we got our chance to vent. I do feel a little lighter. I do feel a little better about it. Now we can start moving towards week 4. Let's go around the league a little bit because a guy that we talked about last week that both our teams were in the running for at one point is in the news again. Jay Glazer is reporting that Deshaun Watson trade talks have heated up. The Texans have softened on their asking price, and that the Miami Dolphins are pretty much like the top contender to land him. And I think, again, I'm going to say what I said to these guys before we started recording. Chris Sims then brought up on like Pro Football Talk with Mike Florio that, the Eagles are still a player. And I'm like, no, Chris, no, they're not. There's no way. So let's just stick to, the actual reporter's report and not worry about Chris Sims for the moment. He's probably somewhere trying to find a spleen. I don't even know. But let's focus on that for a minute, because like we know the Dolphins have been, a pretty good team the last couple of years, a playoff team last year. They've come out kind of struggling, even with Tua under center.
Yeah.
And honestly, Jacoby Brissett probably looked better last week than Tua ever did with the Dolphins. And so if they are a player and you are the Dolphins GM, would you be willing to part with whatever assets the Texans are looking for, because they're not looking for 6 picks in a player, but they're looking for, some kind of value for this guy? Would you be willing to part with whatever for Deshaun Watson at this point? Or would you rather just ride the season out? Because when you look at it, a guy like Aaron Rodgers is about to hit the open market.
Yeah.
And clearly he's not that happy in Green Bay. And maybe going to a warmer climate where state taxes don't exist onto a relatively talented team that's built to win now would be something that he would find more appealing than other locations. I know he said he wanted to go out to the West Coast, but when you look at the Dolphins and you think, if they had Aaron Rodgers, I mean, that could be their Tom Brady,
Yeah.
That's our 12. We need that guy. So would you rather part ways with your own draft picks and assets to acquire Deshaun, or would you rather just wait and start getting in the bidding war for Aaron Rodgers next season? I'm gonna let Devin hit this one first.
Ooh, so that depends, man. That's a tricky question, because on one aspect, you can say are the Dolphins are one player away from being playoff ready, and is Deshaun Watson the difference maker that you got to see what are they really asking for?
Yeah.
Or you could say like, man, we're just gonna blow it all up. It don't matter. Maybe we'll get in the playoffs within the next 2 years. I really don't see Miami operating like that with the second option. I could see him moving, more with the first option I just laid down. I think it would benefit Deshaun Watson, especially these players they already got, man. Especially like Jalen Waddle, he looks like he's about to be. He's gonna have like a crazy breakout season. Still got Devontae Parker there, and Will Fuller, even though he gets
they
hurt,
did bring in Deshaun's homie.
Yeah, exactly. Because they have a inkling on their end. So
they're like, hey, Deshaun, look over here.
You got an established rapport already with one of your players. So I say, when we're breaking bread, just go through the filling out process, see what they're filling out. Because I think, honestly, the Dolphins are actually maybe 1 or 2 players away just being playoff ready.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Nicky from Philly, what's your take on Deshaun here? What would you do?
I would not do anything with Watson. I think he is toxic. I mean, I know it's allegedly all those accusations, but still, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's more than 20, right?
It's at least 20. Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot. I cannot do that. I cannot put my organization in something like that. I mean, Michael Vick is a totally different thing. You know, he paid his dues, and it's just not something I would do as a GM. And it's tough too because Watson, the last season he played, he was heating up. You know, he was looking so
yeah.
good. I mean, because Bill O'Brien, they didn't really know what they were doing. It seemed like he had something going there. I mean, he is a certified NFL quarterback, and you want him if you're any team. But, you know, there's baggage. And is it legitimate? We don't know. But 20 to 30, you know, accusations, that's something you cannot, you know, mess with. So, no, absolutely not.
No, I definitely hear you on that. And yeah, I mean, as far as talent, there are not many better than Deshaun. I mean, he was maybe the league leader in passing yards, if not top 5, and his team could not win a game.
Yeah.
Because they were historically horrible on defense, basically.
Yeah.
And, you know, going into the offseason, when you heard the reports that, like, Deshaun was going to get more of an opportunity to, like, work with the front office and set up, you know, the coaching staff and everything the way he wanted, and then that went sideways, you felt for him.
Yeah.
When you know, when things started to go bad and he started to talk about the organization, you felt for him.
Yeah.
But then when these accusations started coming in, you're like, wait, hold on, man. I was on your side. Like, I was riding with you, and then I saw this shit, like 20-some accusations, and they're all saying the same thing. Like, and so while the talent is there, the accusations are there, and deadlines are there. Like, the trade deadline is probably a month away at this point.
Yeah.
Are these investigations and accusations just going to be cleared up in a month? So if you're the Dolphins, you got to pull the trigger on this for this season, thinking, well, will we even have him?
Yeah.
You know, because you could trade for him in November, and he could be suspended a week later by the NFL, and then these court cases, Lord knows what happens there.
Yeah.
Now you've just given up because the Dolphins have amassed a good chunk of draft picks. It's one of the reasons they were a player to begin with.
Yeah.
So they'll just give away everything they stockpiled for a guy that might not even play for them.
Yeah.
If I'm the Dolphins GM, I don't bother with him. I wait till next season and I see what happens, and then maybe at that point, like if we're talking about trade deadlines, I don't know if I'd do it now. Next year, if this has all been taken care of and he's good and he's clear and he's not being suspended, then maybe I do it.
Yeah.
But right now, the way things stand, I'm not touching Deshaun Jackson. I would much rather wait and say and bring in Aaron Rodgers, have that stockpile of draft picks, so I go, you know what? I don't know if Myles Gaskin is really the running back we need, but since we have all these first rounders, we could just take backs. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We get all this top talent on rookie contracts to go with Aaron Rodgers' big salary. We could still have one of the best teams in the league.
Yeah. If you look at it, oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Oh no, please. I was just wrapping up. Go ahead.
Yeah. And if you look at it too, athletic ability when it comes to like Hurts, Fields, Lamar, they're very athletic. They're speedy guys, but they're small. Watson is speedy and he's tall. You don't get that often. So it's so tough as a GM. I mean, it's tough because, again, accusations, more than 20. It's just, what do you do? In my opinion, I agree with you, Dom. You just wait. You wait until maybe, hopefully, Rodgers is ready to, well, he is. He's going to definitely, in my opinion, he's definitely going to leave the Packers when it, when time comes. And it's like you said, look at Tom Brady, warmer weather. He just won a Super Bowl. So, hey, why not?
It could happen. It's happened already.
He's 44, playing like he's still in his 20s.
Right.
Unbelievable.
So what's Aaron Rodgers going to look like if he goes to Miami? Jesus.
Yeah.
And in other news, Josh Gordon has actually been reinstated again by the NFL, and he signed with the Chiefs. As far as I know, he's still currently on their practice squad, so he won't be seeing game action yet.
Yeah.
But he gets another shot, he gets another chance, and he even said after signing, like, this was a tough decision because he had multiple teams offering, but he wanted to go to a place where he felt like he could call home.
Yeah.
And apparently Kansas City is it. So I don't even know how many chances this has been at this point, but is this an actual home for Josh Gordon? Like, does he finally turn his life around and does he keep that talent that made him one of the best receivers in the game a few years ago? And I'm going to go to Nick again first. Let's let him weigh in on this.
Yeah. Well, this is different than anything else. I mean, Josh Gordon, I think it's more of a drug issue, right? It wasn't a criminal issue. Am I correct?
No,
that?
It's definitely been. He's been in the substance program and suspended multiple times.
It was the weed, right? The weed.
Oh, that's nothing.
I think it was just weed, right?
I think it was weed, and he's had some mental issues that he's been trying to work out.
So, So I mean, this is perfect. I mean, this is a story you want to get behind. This is a player you want to get behind because he did nothing wrong. He has an addiction. Everybody has an addiction. You know, I eat too much. You know, that's an addiction. But still, I
do too many podcasts. No.
Yeah, exactly.
I had worse.
So this is something I'm behind, and I love it too because Andy Reid gives people chances, and we know that. Even if he's, criminal or addiction or just anything, he sees. I mean, his son, for instance.
Son. Yeah. Look no further than Mike Vick.
Yeah. Yep. Point well taken. Yeah, I'm behind this. I hope he does well because I had him with in fantasy when he was with the Seahawks, and I won it that year. So, my man.
I picked him up off the waiver wire when he was a rookie with the Browns, and I won a fantasy championship. So my man, I had to get that in, but I'll let Devin go next. What do you think about this Josh Gordon situation? Is this where he finally finds a home and just sticks to his stuff, or is this just another blip on the radar?
I think maybe this can be a perfect spot for him because I think with his God-given talents, he can blend in well. With this high-powered Chiefs offense, man. Especially you got Tyreek Hill and you got Mahomes as well at the QB position.
Yeah.
And Gordon, real talk, he's only 30 years old. He's still in the prime of his.
So I did not know that.
He's only 30, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's 35. Oh, he's on the tail end. Like, bro, he is still within the prime
No, this
years.
isn't like Terrell Owens.
Right. And he barely
I can make a comeback today.
Right. Even though he missed football, he didn't take any hits, so he's healthy. Yeah. So I'm just curious what type of football shape he's going to be in.
That's a good
speed.
Point.
I just want to see will he be able to take advantage. Because all the players is taking injuries and all of that. He's coming in like 100% healthy.
No, that's true. That's very true. I mean, from a football standpoint, Kansas City has been looking for somebody to put on the other side of Tyreek Hill for Tyreek Hill's entire career. Let's be real. And Sammy Watkins was kind of that guy, but there were a lot of injuries. There were a lot of, just wasn't a great fit. If you put a guy like Josh Gordon with his size and his speed and his abilities on the other side of Tyreek Hill, that offense, which is already pretty fucking amazing, becomes almost unstoppable. Yeah. When you have Hill on one side, you got Gordon on the other, and then you got Jason Kelce, and you still have guys like Nicole Hardman or guys coming out of the backfield.
Yeah,
it's even more impossible to stop Patrick Mahomes if Gordon comes back at his peak performance level, because obviously we don't know if he's been working out. We don't know what kind of shape he's in right now. I haven't really seen him on a field since Seattle, so it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Now, on a personal standpoint, I know I joked a little bit when I said I do too many podcasts about addiction, but I'm 18 days away from being 20 years clean.
Holy shit. Congrats.
Oh, wow, man.
Thank
you,
bro. Now, I say that because it didn't happen the first time. I'm like Josh Gordon. It didn't take. It wasn't just I went to rehab and all of a sudden 20 years later. No. Yeah. It was maybe the third, fourth time, and the reason it went down that way was because I looked at myself. It didn't because everybody else could tell you, oh, you got a problem, you need to do something. Even interventions don't help sometimes, but you look at yourself and you go, damn, I'm fucked up.
Yeah,
I got to get help. And then you take yourself for help. That's the time that it typically works. I'm wondering if this is what happened with Josh Gordon, where he finally went, you know what? I'm tired of this. I'm tired of, I'm tired of living this way.
Yeah.
I'm wasting my life. I need to get my shit straight. And even if it was just weed, I'm pretty sure they're working on taking marijuana off the substance list.
Yeah.
They got to, man. They got to catch
Because
up with
it's
the
now
NBA.
starting to be, decriminalized in states and, all this stuff. So if it's legal in one state or another state, why should it be on the banned substance list for the NFL?
Exactly. And it would probably help players too. Not
And-
probably.
would.
Yeah,
it would.
even
It would
Gronk,
help, like,
even
get off
Gronk had
the-
talked
get off the
about the
pain pills,
benefits
too.
of it.
Exactly, because they don't
Yeah.
have to take the pain pills. They can actually use it, if they want to smoke it, help out with the pain,
Yeah.
or to use it the CBD. You got ways of how you can use cannabis in a
Exactly.
in a medical way. You
Yeah.
got the
Exactly.
creams. you
Yeah.
got
There are
edibles.
so many
It's-
advantages to it without the opioid side and the addictive
Yeah.
side effect. So, I'll be honest, I use some of that CBD bullshit and maybe a little else myself
Yeah.
because of the same reason. One of the reasons I became an addict was pain pills. So, it's definitely something that the NFL is going to revise, and if they do that, I don't see Josh Gordon having any more problems.
Yeah.
Because that was one of the biggest problems. He kept getting busted for weed, and I understand how people look at it. The NFL sees it a different way. We learned this from Ricky Williams way back when.
Yeah.
So it's something that if he straightened himself out, and if they rework and remove marijuana, CBD, THC, whatever off the banned substance list, Josh Gordon's never going to have a problem again.
Yeah.
He's going to have to worry more about his hamstrings and less about his piss tests.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Very
Let me
true.
ask y'all this, man, about Josh Gordon. Let's say
Hmm.
he's having a phenomenal season, and they're getting ready to make the playoffs. They do like a random drug drop. He
Yeah.
gets caught with the weed again. But you think they will look at it different, or would they actually say, all right, we need to look into this rule. Let's just get rid of it. The medical, not medical, but just the marijuana.
The thing about
how
it-
it affects the NFL.
The thing about it is, I think they're already looking into it. Like we need, because Gronk had said it after he retired when he came back. That,
Oh, yeah.
The use of CBD and a few other things helped his body recuperate in ways that he never thought he could again. And they put together committees to try to talk about like whether or not they should be using more of these treatments and less of the opioids and that sort of thing. So I think if he gets popped again, I think it'll be more of a talking point than an issue. Like, okay, we've already started down this
True.
path. This man is having a tremendous year, and he's using weed to do it. But he's not hurting anyone. He's not on opioids. He's not having any issues. He's not doing anything out in the streets.
Yeah.
Now maybe is the time that we just say, you know what, fuck it, we got to take this off the list. I think it pushes it to the forefront where they're kind of right now in the background having these discussions to try to figure out like,
Yeah.
these pain pills, man, they're not that great for people, especially people like athletes that get injured often because they're forced to take them too much. And then what happens? We all cover pro wrestling. It happens a lot there too, right?
Yeah.
Exactly, man.
Bro.
So for the health, exactly. So for the health and well-being of the people, wearing your shield, you might want to consider let weed slide. Just weed. That's it. Just regular weed. If somebody smokes some lace shit and they get popped, gone. Regular weed is legal now in the NFL. That's where we need to be.
Yeah.
Especially for a guy like Josh Gordon, because he is still so young, like Devin said, and so talented. This isn't T.O. or Ocho Cinco coming back like, oh yeah, I can still do this. Like, no, you can't. Go sit down.
I'm actually curious about T.O. because he's still in physical top tier shape. So I'm like, you know what? I would like to see them test you just to see if you still got it.
I don't want to get too far into T.O. because he has something to do. He has something to do with my final thought. So I'm just gonna zip it, and we're gonna move on to the next topic because the next thing that happened after Josh Gordon was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after kind of getting their asses handed to them by the Rams on Sunday, went out and worked out a deal with Richard Sherman. And I was wondering why Richard Sherman wasn't in the league in the first place, and apparently he had some off-field issues too. I had no clue.
Yeah.
You know, I don't regularly follow Richard Sherman. I just see him on the field. I'm like, oh man, that dude.
Yeah.
And I know they had some
Right back,
videos.
fellas.
Oh, go ahead, man. I know they showed some videos where, like, you know, Sherman was in practice picking off passes and things like that. I guess the question becomes, how soon do we see Richard Sherman in a Bucs lineup, and how soon can he make an impact?
Yeah.
And I guess I'm going to Nicky from Philly first because Devin's not.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, I drafted the Bucs defense for in fantasy, and they just the first game they played, obviously it was opening night. They looked really good, but after that they needed something. And Richard Sherman, I think, may be the answer. And back to your point, I think he was caught on a video in front of his wife's house or a relative's house, screaming, going nuts. So it wasn't like he hit anyone. It wasn't like he has a...
No, he just had like a meltdown.
Yeah, and we all do. So we can understand that, you know? This is America. Second chances are everything. I'm getting
I have meltdowns on these shows, okay? No one's ever really taken away my job because they saw my podcast.
Yeah, very true, very true. So yes, I think Tom Brady has a lot to do with this, just because every time there's somebody that needs something, they go to a team with Tom Brady. I mean, off the top of my head, who was the wide receiver that went to the Patriots? I forget, but I'm getting off track. Yes, I think he will make a difference. I think they need somebody like him, and he's going to have to step up. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. I mean, the Bucs defense has had a ton of injuries, especially in the secondary.
Yeah.
And Richard Sherman, I know he's always been kind of a loud, shit-talking kind of guy on the field, but it seemed like when he was in a winning culture, a winning program, he didn't have a lot of issues. Like, he never had a ton of issues in Seattle outside of a few little things here and there, like, maybe, the whole "you mad, bro" kind of thing, which I thought was hilarious, but that's neither here nor there. And then when he went to San Francisco, it didn't quite feel the same. He didn't quite act the same. But now he's coming to Tampa. He's coming to, an organization that won a Super Bowl, that has been rejuvenated overnight, that has winning. Tom Brady, that has leaders. He doesn't need to be one like he did in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Now he can just work. He can just focus on his position. He doesn't have to worry about everybody from the team coming to him. Hey, Sherman, can we go over film, or what do I do here? Just get the fuck out of my face, man. I'm trying to watch myself.
T. Breezy got that.
Yeah, like Brady's got that. I know he's not playing right. He probably won't play this week, but like Gronk's got that. They got guys like that. They don't need Richard Sherman to be that. They need him to be Richard Sherman cornerback. And nobody said he couldn't do that. Yeah. Even in San Francisco, he could do that.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem to work as well because of some of the behavior off the field or in the locker room, where I don't think you're going to get that here. So it wouldn't shock me just from the way he practiced and injuries if he plays this week. And I feel bad because it's like the rich get richer, man. Fucking Tampa and Brady get Richard Sherman on top of Antonio Brown, on top of Gronk, on top of everything else. It's like, can you let anybody else go anywhere? Not even Philadelphia. Can we get a couple of these people, please?
Yeah. Oh man, Tampa Bay, they haven't found the fountain of youth down there.
We could use Antonio Brown.
The hot
He's like,
spot, bro.
Antonio Brown.
Come on,
Antonio Brown is your third receiver. He'd be number one in Philly. Okay.
Yeah.
Facts.
We could use. There are other teams out there like we could use these guys. Can you stop taking these discounts to go to Tampa, please? You're turning into the Lakers. Come on.
They want the ring, man. They want to play for T. Breezy.
Yeah.
I don't blame
but I'm excited for Richard Sherman because he's another one of my guys, man. Like I love that dude. Like I really do. He's a fucking trip and he's a great player. So I'm glad he's getting another chance.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Nick.
Go ahead, Nick. And
so do I. It's okay.
Yeah. And in life, when you make a mistake and it's magnitude, it's in the media, people see that. You look at that and you go, okay, I need to straighten myself out. Antonio Brown did it, now he's with the Bucks and they're doing very well. Maybe this is something good for Sherman. Maybe you look at it and go, okay, I fucked up. I need to get back on the straight, arrow.
He wouldn't be the first player that fucked up, went to another team and became what he once was.
So he's
a lot of those guys.
A
lot of those guys rolled through New England. I don't care if it was Corey Dillon or Randy Moss or whoever. Like they were struggling in their spots and people were calling them bad teammates. And then they showed up in New England and all of a sudden they became, world beaters because they didn't have to be the guy. They were just part of a unit now.
Yeah.
And that's where Richard Sherman is.
Yeah. And I think you made a great point too, Dom. I mean, Richard Sherman does not need to be the leader, and he should not be the leader. Tom Brady's there. You stand back and you listen to him, and I think that's something that he needs. I think he needs to realize, like, I am a good player, but I need to be, in the back. I need to be on the back burner. I cannot be,
Because even Seattle, even in Seattle, he could kind of defer to guys like Earl Thomas, who was more of the vocal leader of the defense and of the team, that sort of thing, and look at how well he played. So head to Tampa, and now again, you don't have to be the guy. You're just part of the unit. Right. Now you get to show out, like Antonio Brown's been doing, like Randy Moss was with the Patriots, and I think that's going to do nothing but benefit him going forward. And I don't think you have to. I mean, I'll knock on wood, but I don't think you have to worry about him getting in trouble too many times beyond here. Yeah.
Hopefully, during his self-reflection time, he had time to ponder about what he's, the goals he has in mind with Tampa, and just not with Tampa, but his own life too. So let's see going forward, man. If he got his head on straight, man.
All right,
but it's gonna be fun for Tampa Bay, though. That's all I know.
It's gonna be fun for Tampa. What they freaking do? Who cares? Oh, right, people in Tampa. End of list. And Brady fans. You can't forget Brady fans.
Hey, you know what? I hated Brady, but he made me a fan. I'm sorry. I respect this game. I respect this talent. Dude, he went to Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And got them a Super Bowl ring on the first try. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah, I feel like eventually we're going to be talking about that a little bit too, but especially once we start making picks. So why don't we get to it now? Why don't we just start with the picks for week 4 and start going through these? And if we last week's picks were very close, but I ended up edging out Devin 17-13 overall. Because what we did was we made the picks. If we both picked the same team, we then picked the score. And even we did like over under for interceptions for Zach Wilson, and I gave points for that too. So if something comes up, we'll keep track, we'll keep score, and then next week we'll come back and tell you who the winner was. But I had Devin by a little bit. He got the Cowboys on me, and I think I got the Saints on him, and the rest we agreed on. But when you looked at all the bonus points, I had just a hair. I got him, but he must have got a touchdown call back or something. I don't know how that happened. But I guess we'll start off. The first game on the rundown here is the 2-1 Tennessee Titans, missing a ton of players, going into the Meadowlands to face the winless Jets. And I'm just going to say it. Titans win this game. I don't care if they don't have A.J. Brown and Julio Jones.
Doesn't matter.
It's the Jets, y'all. That's all you got to know.
Yeah. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah. Can we all agree on the Titans? Okay, so I'll say...
With 3 Zach Wilson interceptions.
Yeah.
Are we going to do over-under again on this, too? Because I'm going to say, give me Tennessee. Give me 31-9. Nick, do you have a score for this game?
It's going to be something along those lines. I would say something. I don't even know if the Jets are going to score. They didn't score last week, so give me. I don't know. Let's just do 24-0.
24-0. Okay. All right, Devin. What do you got for this one?
27-3. You was almost.
There we go, my man.
27-3.
That's all right. We're all kind of.
Let's get a field goal, but Titans are going to burn out that clock.
Oh my God, go Henry, please.
Exactly.
Yeah, without without AJ Brown and Julio Jones, they're going to give Derrick Henry even more carries, and the Jets' run defense is not good. It is not good at all. Derrick Henry could have an NFL record this week. No lie.
It's gonna be like running through tissue.
I hope he does.
And this is painful for me to say, but the next game on the rundown is the 1-2 Kansas City Chiefs, which is shocking, coming into Philadelphia to play the 1-2 Eagles. The Andy Reid revenge game.
Yeah.
Let's start with somebody who doesn't have a stake in this. Devin.
I got Chiefs. Chiefs need it, man. Fucking losing streak for the Chiefs. 2-game skid. No. They can't have no 3-game skid. I'm sorry. It's not looking good for Philly. So I got Kansas City Chiefs. Score. Holmes 30-17.
All right, peace. See you.
Next, I'm gone. All right, Nicky from Philly. Let's let you weigh in on this next. Who you got in this one?
This is a big game for the Chiefs. I mean, they need to show everybody that they're still here to play. And I'm going to go Chiefs, obviously, 26-7. I think we can get maybe one touchdown.
Okay. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a big game for both teams, but it means a little bit more to the Chiefs because they were, perennial Super Bowl contenders, and now they're 1-2. And they're 1-2 basically because Cleveland gave them a game back.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like they were done in that game in Arrowhead, and then stupid Cleveland mistakes cost them at the end. So they need like a statement game right now, and there's probably no bigger statement than Andy Reid coming back to Philly and just dropping a 40 burger on us and then eating it after the game because that's what he does. So I too, I'm gonna take the Chiefs. I'm gonna say,
look at you taking your fan hat off. I like that.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I'm looking at the schedule for the Eagles the next few weeks, and I'm like, man, if we don't beat Carolina, I don't know when we're gonna win. Yeah. But I'm gonna go with a pretty hefty number. I'm gonna say 41-17.
Oh wow.
Damn,
like I said, Andy comes back to Philly, drops a 40 burger, and then he eats it.
Then he eats it, my man.
And sticking with the NFC East, we've got the 2-1 Cowboys at home to take on the undefeated Panthers without Christian McCaffrey. And I'm going to let Nicky from Philly jump in on this one. Who you got?
Yeah, I think Carolina is going to win there, but I think it's going to be a very competitive game. I just, even though he's out, and it hurts me because he's
me too.
My number one overall pick this year and last year, and he screwed me both years. But that's we're getting off.
All of us.
We're getting off.
All three of us.
It was Mike Davis last year. Picked him off the waiver wire.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I told my buddy I'm going to pick up Mike Davis, and guess what? My buddy did. He picked up
Mike Davis. That's why you don't tell your buddy.
Yeah, exactly. 23-13. It's going to be a competitive game, but I think Carolina is going to pull this one off.
Okay. Tribal Chief, who you got in this one?
27-24 Panthers. It will be tight.
Oh. Yeah.
See what Chris Hubbard got, the young one. The rookie's going to be behind McCaffrey. Well, not behind McCaffrey.
Oh, Chuba.
He is the number one. That's right, man. And Sam, was it Sam Darnold?
Yep.
Donald? I say it right, Sam Donald? Yeah. He's been playing good, man. He's effective in this offense, so I think he'll put some points on the board, man.
Yeah.
I see where you guys are coming from, and I feel your pain. I feel both your pains on Christian McCaffrey because he was my first pick last year.
Yeah, don't forget about DJ Moore too.
And I had ended up winning my fantasy championship because I picked up Justin Herbert and a few other guys. And so I was in a keeper league. I kept Herbert and I kept Christian McCaffrey. Smart. And now he's hurt again.
Yeah.
So I'm struggling, but I just after watching that Eagles game and the pressure they put on Jalen Hurts, and then going back to the Chargers game and seeing the pressure they put on Justin Herbert, I got a feeling Sam Darnold is going to get killed. So I am going to be the first one to step away and lone wolf, and I am going to take the Dallas Cowboys in this one. I don't even have to give a score because I'm the only one that picked them.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. There you go.
So if y'all are right, we'll go to the scoreboard. But if not, one for me. All right. So the next game up is oh wow, we got the winless Giants going on the road to take on the 2-1 Saints. Now the Giants are going to be without Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton at least in their wide receiver core.
Damn.
Saints are missing Teron Armstead, their Pro Bowl offensive lineman, but otherwise they're relatively healthy.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be honest here. I'm just taking the Saints in this one. I think their defense is gonna swarm, and Daniel Jones is missing targets. Saquon Barkley hasn't been that dude yet this year, and he is not going to be that against the Saints.
Nope.
So
no,
I'll take the Saints. Are you guys riding with the Saints as well?
Yes.
All right. Well, then I got to come up with a score here. So
score
I'm gonna say Saints win 28-10.
I'll go with
Devin.
Yeah. So New Orleans, I'm gonna go with 31-3.
31-3. Wow.
Yeah, I'm with you on this, Devin. I don't think the Giants are going to score a touchdown. So give me 24, 2 field goals, 6. 24-6.
Okay. I figured if anything, maybe Jameis Winston will give him one, like a pick six or a fumble return for a touchdown. So
yeah, true.
That's the only reason I gave him 10. I figured if anything, Jameis might cost him.
Yeah, he's eating those W's.
Yeah. And serving up turnovers.
Yeah. And stealing crab legs.
Don't forget that. That was a thing.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Now so the next game is the 2-1 Cleveland Browns going on the road after kind of dominating the Bears to take on another NFC North foe, the Minnesota Vikings at 1-2. And the Vikings will most likely, it's a game time decision, but it looks like they're most likely without Dalvin Cook for the second week. They're still missing Anthony Barr. He's been out for a couple of weeks. Cleveland is relatively healthy. They just got Beckham back. This is going to be a tough game. It's going to be close, but I kind of lean towards the Browns with that defense and that 1-2 punch. And I see them shaking their heads. Are you guys in on the Browns too?
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying because I agree with your point.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna take Cleveland in this one in a close game because when the Vikings lose, it's close. When they win, it's big. When they lose, it's close.
Yeah. I got them winning close.
And
Vikings.
I'll say Cleveland wins 28-21.
Damn.
Nicky from Philly. I think you agreed with me, right?
24-21. I'm with you.
24.
It's going to be close because I think they have something to prove, but
Cleveland.
I think the running game for the Browns, you can't stop that. I mean,
okay, so from what I'm hearing, the tribal chief is going the other way.
Let's hear it.
That's right.
You going with the Vikings?
Vikings. In the close
I'm hoping Adam Thielen has a big day. Please, Adam, please.
Or Justin
I already
Jefferson.
have a lead
Justin
this week,
Jefferson.
but I need you. Please.
Justin Jefferson, I need you.
Thank God for CJ Uzmata. I always want to call him TJ Hushmanzada because they were on the same team.
Who's your mama?
Man, I put him in for that Thursday game because Dallas Goedert wasn't so hot last week, and did he have a career day? He stepped up for me, boys. Thank you.
Yep.
Go Bengals. I don't even know. I might have never said that before in my life.
Yeah.
And we got the game that Devin's probably going to be very interested in next. The winless Lions going to Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears and insert quarterback's name here. So So I'm going to start with the tribal chief, and I'm going to see if he's got hometown bias or not. Who you got in this one?
I'm just going with the Bears because I still trust their defense. But will they hang on enough for the pull out the win? I think they will. So I got them winning 17-13 Bears.
Okay. This one's tough for me because I don't know who's starting, but I saw a lot from the Lions in that last game against Baltimore.
Yeah.
It took a record-setting doink off the crossbar to beat them. They had played a damn good game against a damn good offense that I was saying the week before, like, expect Lamar Jackson, Latavius Murray, and Tyson Williams to all have 100 yards rushing because I thought the Lions were going to get rolled. And they proved a lot to me in that game. I think they have enough to beat the Lions this week. So I'm going to give them their first win.
Wow.
I'm going to say 20-17.
Yeah.
Nicky from Philly, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm Devin, my man. We agree with a lot of things. Roman Reigns is the best, but not here.
Debacle.
The Lions,
decade of Roman.
There you go. The Lions win 19-14. It's going to be a close game.
It will.
No, it's definitely going to be a close game, but yeah, Chicago, like I feel for the Bears, but the Lions did show me a little something. I was saying last week I don't think I'll ever pick them, and I just did. So what difference a week makes? Another team I'm probably not going to pick this week: the Houston Texans going into Buffalo to take on the godfather of the Bills Mafia, Josh Allen, and his squad, sitting at 2-1 after a couple of beatdown victories, to be honest. And I'm just gonna say it. Bills win. I think they win pretty easily. I'll just say 27-9 Bills.
Damn.
Nicky from Philly, who you got in this one?
Yeah, Bills Mafia, absolutely. 34-9.
34-9 Bills. Yeah. All right, Devin, you going with the Bills, or are you trying to lone wolf on these Texans, man?
No, man. I got Bills 38-14. Texans with 2 garbage touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I got to give a shout out to Davis Mills because he actually they kind of stuck the training wheels on him in the first half of that Carolina game, and when they took him off, he didn't look half bad. And for a rookie quarterback this year, that's saying a lot.
Yeah,
it is.
Because rookie quarterbacks have not looked good all year long. I mean, I think it's safe to say the best-looking rookie quarterback after 3 or 4 weeks is probably Trevor Lawrence, but that's not saying much. Yeah. And that's only because he looks like sunshine once again.
Yeah.
Remember them Titans, y'all. Mm-hmm. So another surprisingly winless team, the 0-3 Colts, are headed into Miami to take on what is still Jacoby Brissett and the 1-2 Dolphins. And the Colts are going to be missing Quentin Nelson, their Pro Bowl guard. Carson Wentz is questionable, but he played last week. I think he's going to be one of the game time decisions again. The Dolphins are pretty much they're missing like 1 lineman and Tua, so they're actually healthier than they've been most weeks. Let's start with the tribal chief. Who do you see pulling this one out?
I got Dolphins. Because Jacoby Brissett, he's familiar with the Colts D. He was just there last season, so I could see him pulling it out, edging it out in a close one though. So I'll give it to 21. No, actually, let's make it 20. 20-17 Dolphins.
20-17 Dolphins. Okay. Nicky from Philly, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I got to go with the Colts. I think they need a win here, and I think it's tough because what Devin said. I mean, Jacoby, he knows the Colts, and he is a pretty good quarterback. I don't think he's going to take them, to a victory this week. But I got the Colts, and I guess I got to give you a score here. Let's do 17-14 Colts.
Okay. Yeah, you can say what you want about Tua being hurt and Jacoby Brissett and all this stuff, but Miami's defense, they were great last year. they're kind of playing the same way the Bucks defense has been playing this year, where they were tremendous and then they came out sputtering. Miami's defense has definitely been sputtering because it's not like they lost. Like they might have had they might have been involved in the game of the week last week against the Raiders, and they gave up a ton of yards. They gave Peyton Barber a career day on the ground. Okay, Peyton friggin' Barber. I didn't even know he was still in the league, to be honest, until last week. Like, I was like, where's Kenyon Drake? Like, why is Peyton Barber playing? And then I saw what he was doing to that defense, and I was like, oh, that's why. Okay. Now, the Colts having, the running game that they do, and Carson Wentz has looked good this season, and they've been on the cusp of a victory, like, every freaking week. I think this is the week they finally get one. I think they pull it out. And yes, a close game. Let's see. I'm looking at your scores. I'm gonna say Colts win 21-20. Like it's a tight game, but I think they finally get on the right side of a close game. Because they played some tough teams, and they played them tough. So it's going to – and Miami's defense does look a little bit like it's got a few chinks in its armor. So I think they could take advantage of that. The next game is the 1-2 Washington football game or football team. Why do I keep saying game? I got to stop that. It was last week. That's this week. I apologize. The Washington football team going into Atlanta to taking on the 1-2 Falcons, fresh off their win against the Giants. And as far as injuries, I mean, there's not anything, anyone that really sticks out. It's like, oh, Russell Gage is going to miss this game for the Falcons. Even Washington's getting a couple of guys that came off the injury reserve, and they're missing Benjamin St. Juice this week. St. Juice. Yeah. You gotta love that last name. I feel like that needs to be a malt liquor company tomorrow. Try our St. Juice. Anyway, I'll start with Nicky from Philly. Who you got, Washington or the Falcons?
Yeah, I gotta go with Washington here. I mean, it's just their defense is not as good as last year, but it's still good. And you saw how well we played against the Falcons. So I got a football team here, 23-17.
Okay. Tribal Chief, who you got in this one?
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be a close one between the two teams. But if I was to flip a coin, I'd probably go with Atlanta.
Yeah.
With Matt Ryan, even though they both have like mediocre offenses.
Yes.
So, but yeah, it's going to be a close one. I got 17. Let's make it 14. 17-14.
17-14 Atlanta. No, I totally agree with you on that one,
And
Devin.
on that note, gentlemen, I do have to go though.
Yeah.
Usually I don't cut
I just
early.
Noticed the time, but that's okay.
Right.
That's okay.
But,
just hit me with the rest of the picks in the morning.
I got you, bro. Yep, and we'll talk, man. But thank you, Nick. We finally get to work together.
Yes, sir.
But I have a feeling we will meet again.
Absolutely.
Right, in the near future. Dom, as always, brother.
Yeah, we may even meet again on this show, so no worries, man.
Right.
Have a good night.
Take it easy, brother.
Shouts to the Tribal Chief. We love you. We'll see you soon, homie.
Later, guys.
All right, so,
let's finish it.
This game I get the Jason Kelsey remix in my head. I'm just like, no one's gonna want you, no one's gonna want you, no one's gonna want you, no one cares. But I mean, if I have to pick a winner in this one, I'm leaning a little closer towards you with Washington's defense. And I'll take the football team in this one.
Yeah.
And let me see, I'll say 20-14, and I'll leave it there. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Falcons. It's not that Washington is a great team, but the Falcons defense is just a sieve. Yeah. So I think they'll have enough. All right, next up, amazingly, the 1-2 Seattle Seahawks. I don't know how that happened.
It's crazy.
Is going into San Francisco to take on the 2-1 49ers this week. And let's see. They're saying Tyler Lockett's going to be a game time decision for the Seahawks with a hip injury. That looked nasty last week. I don't think he'll play.
No.
And Josh Norman will be doubtful. Greg Kittle for the 49ers is also doubtful.
Yeah.
So that kind of hampers him a little bit. I would probably lean towards the Seahawks in this one.
Yeah, me too.
And I'll say in a close game like 27-24.
Okay. I'm with you on that, Seattle.
Okay.
23-17 Seattle.
Okay.
I think they're gonna put up both teams, but I think Seattle just is a better team, just in general.
Yeah, I mean, it's always a close game when these two teams get together because it's a division rivalry. There's, a little bit of history over the last few years, but I think the big division game, at least for the NFC West, is this next one.
Let's hear it. I'm ready.
The undefeated Arizona Cardinals going to LA SoFi Stadium to take on the undefeated Los Angeles Rams.
Yes.
And as I'm looking down, like they don't even have DeAndre Hopkins on the injury list anymore, so he ought to be okay. The Rams, the biggest question is Darrell Henderson, their starting running back. He's a game-time decision. So this could seriously be the game of the week.
I think it is.
And I'm going to let Nicky from Philly go first
Nicky,
here.
Yeah.
Who you got in this one?
Dude, Stafford has been one of my favorite players, and now that he's actually on a great team, dude, I'm so happy. It sounds corny because I'm an Eagles fan. We're Eagles fans, but I just you got to root for him. So I think this is going to be a really competitive game. But at the end of the day, I think the Rams are going to put up, and I think they're going to win. Let's say 34-33. The Rams. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Again, Stafford, my man. He's living large, hot wife, doing well. My man.
Yeah. Everybody's man. Because I personally love Matthew Stafford too.
Yeah.
I thought, he was one of those guys that, kind of like Megatron or Barry Sanders, like you're just stuck in Detroit and you're going nowhere. So when he finally got out and he got to LA, I thought, man, this is a perfect fit for you. Like this is a team 2 years removed from a Super Bowl that's still stacked on offense, had one of the best defenses in the league. And now they bring you in. And then he and Cooper Kupp became best friends, which is another reason I'm like, my man, because I got Cooper Kupp in fantasy.
You do? Nice.
So yeah, that's another reason I'm loving Matthew Stafford right now. And I mean, the Cardinals, as good as they've been, they've looked a little susceptible over the last couple of games. Like
I still don't know.
Minnesota basically lost the game. They didn't really win it. Minnesota had missed field goals, missed extra points, the whole nine. They had multiple opportunities. And then Jacksonville actually had a lead on them in the third quarter, and it took a few Trevor Lawrence mistakes to get them back and pull away. But now you're going in to play a Rams team in LA, coming fresh off a pretty defining beatdown victory against the defending Super Bowl champs.
Yeah.
And I don't see any way that you beat them the way you've been playing. So I'm going to say, it's going to be a pretty high scoring game, and I'm going to take the Rams.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, about 35-27.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good game, but I don't know if the Cardinals are there yet.
No.
They're a very good team, but I don't know if they're a consistent team. They're just not there yet.
Yep.
Another couple of teams that have been inconsistent this year are next on the rundown. Let's got the injury-rattled 1-2 Steelers going into Lambeau to take on the 2-1 Packers. And the Steelers basically might not have a receiving core for this game.
Yeah.
Deontay Johnson is a game time decision. Chase
Not good.
Claypool has already been ruled out with a hamstring injury. And then even Juju Smith-Schuster is a game time decision with a rib injury. And it seems like this year, every time we hear rib injury, that guy doesn't play. I don't care if it's Tua, Gronk, whoever. Rib injury, sit. So it's going to be even tougher for Big Ben and the Steelers going in to play the Packers, who are going to be. They're missing a couple of guys. They're missing one of their studs on the offensive line. They're missing Valdez-Scantling with a hamstring injury, and I know one of their better pass rushers just had back surgery. So that's, those are devastating. But
doesn't matter.
I can't see the Packers losing this game in Lambeau to this Steelers team. I mean, even TJ Watt might not play again, and the defense has been a little banged up. I'm gonna take the Packers at home in this one.
Yeah,
I'll say 21-10.
I'm close to that. I'm gonna go 28-6 with the Packers. This is basically Rodgers, I don't want to say retirement tour, but this is a tour to show everybody that, he still has it. I mean, he's the MVP. He's a reigning MVP. There's no way he's going to, sit on his ass and do nothing. He is going to put up, and this is a game to show everybody. Because, the Steelers, they're hurt, but their D is still pretty good. So, like I said, Packers here, no doubt. In Lambeau too, you can't. Come on.
I think the Packers and the Titans and a few teams that looked really bad in week 1 looked that way because they just didn't get the reps in the offseason.
Yeah, they're sneaky good.
Like they didn't get the reps in training camp. They didn't get the reps in preseason. A lot of guys sat out or held out like Aaron Rodgers. And so when they came back week 1, they just weren't ready. And then when they came out week 2, after getting those practices and those reps and everything else, then you saw what they really were. Because all those reports of Aaron Rodgers being on the decline were absolutely false.
Bullshit, yeah. And I'm happy because he's my quarterback.
But if you're saying Ben Roethlisberger is on the way out, I'm with you.
I mean, I don't know. Tomlin, you know him. He doesn't screw around.
No, he does not. And it would not shock me if at some point this year he ends up pulling Big Ben. I'm just saying. I mean, you do have Dwayne Haskins, and you don't know how long you're going to have Big Ben. And if this team continues to look this way, you might as well go in another direction. Kind of like the Eagles did last year. With Carson Wentz, and look how that turned out. So
let's not bring that up.
Man, this game is going to be good too, though. We got the 2-1 Ravens heading into Mile High, and they are going to be facing off against the undefeated Denver Broncos. Now, I know the Ravens have been highly beat up, and that's continuing over this year. So much so that they activated Le'Veon Bell from the practice squad for this game.
Yeah.
Because they actually have some running back injuries. They're missing at least one offensive lineman, and it could be 2. They're missing some pass rushers. I mean, it's all over the board. Like lots of game time decisions, lots of guys on injured reserve. Where with the Broncos, they're not too bad. Like Melvin Gordon is questionable with a rib injury. Nothing else really to scoff at. Like, they're missing Andre Mincy. That could really hurt them. So I'll let Nicky from Philly go on this one first. You got the Broncos or the Ravens?
I got the Ravens. I think they're contenders for the Super Bowl, even though they are injured heavily. I think they still have what it takes, and I think they're just more motivated this year. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're drinking the Kool-Aid or something along those lines, but they look Lamar himself looks so much better, and I think this is a defining game. So I'm going to say 31-6. I'm being dead ass serious. I think the Ravens just because I think the Broncos are – people think they're sneaky good, but I don't think they're good at all. I think they're just mediocre. So I got the Ravens here. I think they're going to put up.
I'll be honest with you, Nicky. I like it. It's bold. I don't agree, but it's bold as hell. So I will give you all the credit in the world for that. I do like what I saw from the Ravens this year. They have been very scrappy. They've scratched, they've clawed, but I don't know if they've played a defense as good as Denver's yet.
That's true.
Denver is very good against the run, which is something
Yeah.
that Baltimore is very good at.
And you said they're home too, right? Denver?
They're at home.
Okay.
They're great. They've got Von Miller, and they've had a great pass rush.
He's still playing? Damn.
Yeah. He missed all of last year, but he's back and looking like Von Miller again.
Nice.
I love what Teddy Bridgewater brought to this team. It's one of those things where they had the young points. They had the young core. They needed a veteran leader, and Teddy is that guy.
Yeah.
And even with Melvin Gordon out, like that rookie Javonte Williams, I think it is, the backup running back, he's almost looked better than Melvin Gordon this year. And they have a very good young receiving core. Noah Fant is becoming a top tight end. I think the Broncos end up pulling this one out, and I think it's probably going to be somewhere around, I'll say, 24-17. Like, they're not going to blow them. I'm not saying they're blowing them out. Don't get me wrong. I just think they've got a little bit too much for the Ravens to handle in their condition.
Nice.
But again, no insult to the Ravens there. They have a tremendous team, and if they did pull that game out, I'm not going to be surprised. But injuries do play a factor.
Yep.
And oh boy, we have a very interesting game too. We got Brady versus Belichick, so to speak, as the 2-1 Bucks come off a loss, go into Foxborough to play the 1-2 Patriots. And I think before we even pick this game, we just got to throw this out there on the table.
Okay.
We got to look at the Patriots dynasty for a minute. Now that two guys coming together on the different sides. Who do you think was more responsible for this Patriot dynasty? Was it Belichick and his system, or was it Brady and the way he executed it?
Yeah. I mean, that's a question I think everybody's, I don't think we have an answer to that, to be honest. I think everybody is asking that question. I think it's a little bit of both, but I think at the end of the day, I think it goes to Tom Brady here. I mean, you can have all the plays you want. You can write up everything you want. You can have a game plan going in like we did last week, and it just did not go well. But Brady, being Brady, is able to do something with that game plan, even if they're down, a shit ton of points. So I think Brady has a lot to do with it. But then again, Belichick, I mean, you can't write up these plays and then they go successful. The plan goes successful, and you look at it and you go, okay, well, maybe Belichick has something here. So it goes both ways. I would love to hear what you think, to be honest.
I kind of agree with you. I just look at it in a little bit of a different direction, because as good as Bill Belichick has been with the Patriots, when you looked at his coaching career prior to that, he was under 500. When you look at his coaching record without Tom Brady, even including the season that Brady went down and Matt Castle came in and they went 10-6. When you look at him without Brady, overall, he is 26-30 as a head coach.
Damn.
Even with a 10-6 season. So you do the math on that one. Take that season out, he's even worse.
Yeah.
And, when you look at what he's doing right now or the last few years with the Patriots, whether it be with Cam Newton at quarterback or even Mac Jones, the coordinators are the same, the game plan, the offense is similar, but the results are completely different.
Yep.
And so I lean towards Brady because, like you said, you can have the game plan, you can have the coaching staff, you can have all those things, but if you don't have somebody that can go out there and execute it on a high level, then you don't have anything.
Yeah.
The highest level. As much as I hate Brady, like he
Me
can,
too.
I respect him, I hate him, but if you don't have a guy that can go out there and do it like Brady does, then it really doesn't matter. So I kind of have to lean towards Brady in this conversation. And as far as the game goes, I'm going to lean towards Brady too in this one. I think Tampa, they're looking at this as like a bounce back revenge game. I think Gronk's probably mad that he's not going to play in it. But when you have several broken ribs, you sit out.
Yeah.
But I still think Tampa has more than enough to beat this Patriots team. I'm going to say 31-17 Tampa.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go with Tampa as well. I think they're going to start slow. I think Brady's going to start slow because the nerves. Let's be honest. This is the first time that he's coming back, right? This is the first time they're playing each other?
Yep.
Okay,
Since he
so
left, yes.
But I think like Brady does every game, he's going to, reconsider his options here, and he's gonna do well. So I'm going to say 41-16.
41-16. Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, I won't be surprised if like Gillette Stadium loses their mind for him, even when he throws a touchdown pass.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think they're gonna boo him. Maybe during the game, but when he comes out, I think they're gonna cheer him.
True.
Yeah.
True. All right. So that was the Sunday night game. We are now on to the final game, Monday Night Football, where the 3-0 Las Vegas Raiders go to, even though they say it's a home game, by the way, according to Derek Carr, go to Los Angeles to play the 2-1 San Diego Chargers. And all I've heard is so far is Josh Jacobs is a game time decision, and the Chargers might be, don't really have anybody out, like maybe a defensive lineman, like me, and everybody else is game time decisions. Because, when you get to Monday, sometimes they don't know yet, even if it is Sunday. I'm going to let Nicky from Philly go first on this one. I picked first on the last one. Who you got?
Yeah, I think as good as Herbert looked last year and the beginning of this year, I just for some reason I think Gruden and Carr are finally connecting, and I think that's what we wanted to see for years. I mean, he signed a 10-year deal. I think he's going to stick with Carr, and I think they're gonna make it to the playoffs. I don't know how successful they're going to be, but I think they're going to kick ass this week. Like I said, Herbert, he's looking good, but this is a tough task. And the Raiders, I think they played the Chiefs the last year to lose. And they played a really, really good game against the Chiefs. So I got the Raiders 34-14. I think they're going to show them that you don't mess with Gruden.
Okay. I got to be honest. I think this is going to be a shootout like at least two of the Raider games have been already.
Okay.
But I also think that favors Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Because he's leading the league in passing yards for a reason. I mean, he is out there just heaving balls and having like Mahomesian type plays where he's just running and slings it 60 yards downfield. I think you said that perfectly
too. Exactly.
And it's nothing against Herbert. I hope he has a great game because he's starting for me this week. But I see the Raiders winning this in one of those classic shootout games. It may even go to overtime because Las Vegas has needed 14 quarters to be 3-0.
Yeah.
So we might see maybe 17 or 19 quarters by the time.
Yeah, that's true too.
And I'll say in overtime they're going to win 34. Las Vegas wins 34-31.
Damn, that's a close game.
Yeah. I really think because it just seems like even with Miami, like Jacoby Brissett got in a shootout with Derek Carr and came up short.
Yeah,
I think Justin Herbert will too. I mean, Lamar got in a shootout with him and came up short.
Yeah,
and so it's definitely it should be an interesting game. It's one of those that kind of like one of two that might be the game of the week.
Absolutely.
But I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a good damn weekend for football. Like I can't wait to kick back and turn on the red zone and just watch this play out.
Yes, sir.
Probably not the Eagles game so much, but the rest of the league I'll be looking forward to.
Yeah, definitely. Be checking my fantasy this week. It's so tough as a Philly fan. I mean, the Phillies, the Eagles, they're just it's so tough. Obviously, I'm going to watch the game, but it's just something. It's just not what we need.
Yeah, that was definitely going to be one of my final thoughts too. Like I was going to say, I know the Philadelphia Phillies are not going to make the playoffs, and I feel for them, but they bounced back pretty well this year after a hard 2020.
Yeah,
and honestly, if it weren't for like the NL West being so fucking good, we probably would have a wild card spot. because the Dodgers are something like 50 games above 500, and they're in a wild card spot.
Yeah.
So had the Giants not been so good, maybe we would have had a chance to actually, get in the playoffs. I think with a little bit more pitching next year, they're going to be, they're going to get over that hump. It was so nice to see Bryce Harper look like Bryce Harper at a Phillies jersey. Like, this is what I wanted from you. And the last of my final thoughts, because I had already ranted about Ben Simmons a little bit on episode 1.
Yeah.
And then in our live, I know if you guys are watching this, you probably already know I'm the host of a wrestling podcast. We did a live watch along yesterday, and my boy Adam, who had watched the show, was in the live chat, and he said, "Hey, you doing the sports show this weekend?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "You gonna rant about Ben Simmons again?" I'm like, "I don't know if I should double dip," and he literally just said, "Do it." He's one of the few guys to watch this show, so here it goes. Okay, because there were more wrinkles. I mean, for starters, the Sixers have withheld almost over $8 million of his salary this year since he is not in training camp, and they will continue to withhold it until he reports, and then he might get some of it back. They might take more if he never shows up.
Yeah,
and then finally this week they started to ask Joel Embiid, who I love, about Ben, about the situation, and he said flat out, this whole thing with Simmons not reporting is, quote, borderline disrespectful. And he went on to say he was more than happy to let the Sixers build the team around Ben Simmons. He just wanted to be, a major part of it.
Yeah.
And he rattled off all the 3-point shooters that they brought in. And he said, he was like the worst of the 3-point shooters outside of Simmons, and he shot 38%. So, he even went back and said they brought in a guy like Al Horford to be that stretch forward because Ben Simmons did not want to play in the front court. And beyond that, he then went on to talk about Jimmy Butler, which is a sensitive subject for me because I've argued with this with a lot of Sixers fans. Jimmy Butler was the perfect guy. He was that veteran, that leader that team needed, like we talked about with football, because it all carries over.
Yeah.
And we were a miracle shot away from a finals appearance with Jimmy Butler. And Ben Simmons didn't like him, didn't get along with him, so we traded him. He then takes another team to the finals, and we end up with this. All this is like an extended version of Terrell Owens and the Eagles. It's you come in, we build a team, we build an offense around you, we cater to you, we have success, and then all of a sudden, with T.O., it was like, okay, we went to the playoffs, we won without you. I was even there when they won the NFC Championship game against the Falcons, and came up short against Brady and some spies. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
From winning our first Super Bowl, and then the following season, you're complaining about your contract, you're complaining about the team, you're complaining about the coaches, you're complaining about this, you're complaining about that. Next thing you know, you're in the driveway doing sit-ups during training camp.
Yeah.
And when we do get you to report, either you don't want to play or you're popping off and you're getting into fights with guys in the locker room and you're being disrespectful. So we end up trading you. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but T.O. was never ever as good on any other team as he was with the Philadelphia Eagles. And eventually he just went to teams because he wanted to stick around. He wanted to get paid. He never really reached the playoffs. If he did, he ended up sitting around crying about his quarterback afterwards when he fumbles a snap on a field goal. That's the closest thing. Yeah, that's my teammate. I don't have the sunglasses. Oh wait, yes I do. That's my teammate, man. That's my quarterback. Like, get the fuck out of here, T. and I say it this way. Ben Simmons, you see what I just talked about? You see Terrell Owens? That is your fucking future right now. Because you are destroying your own trade value. You are destroying your own reputation. And your work ethic was already doing that.
Yeah.
So if you think it's bad to be in Philly, with Doc Rivers saying he's not sure if you can be a point guard on a championship team after you just proving the fact that you may not be the point guard on a championship team. If you think it's bad now, wait till wherever you get to next. I don't know where it's going to be. I don't know if you end up in Portland and we get Dane. I don't know if you end up in Sacramento and we get whoever. I don't know where you're going to end up next. I know it's not Golden State. We can take that one off the list. But if you think it's bad now, just wait. That's all I'm going to. That's my final.
Yeah.
Just wait. Just wait and see where you end up. Ask Terrell Owens.
Yeah.
And so that's the last thing that I have. Nikki, do you have any more? Nikki from Philly, do you have any final thoughts to add to this before we jump up out of here?
No, just appreciation. It's been 1 year for my podcast. I do have a wrestling podcast with my buddy. It's called the Universal Wrestling Podcast, and I wouldn't be here if I didn't have that. So it's appreciation, Dom. It's been a blast. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, we talk so much wrestling. Sometimes it's good to talk something else. So I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. It's no problem at all. I'm glad to have you. Congratulations on 1 year. I'm going to make sure I have what I need set up because it's a huge occasion. So we definitely need to give you a round of applause.
Thank you. My man.
My man. And, it's yes, we both have wrestling podcasts because we are passionate wrestling fans, regardless of who we're behind. And sports and football and basketball, that's another passion of mine. So I decided to start this, and I thought, hey, if I can find guys like Devin or like Nikki from Philly who are passionate about this too, we can just get by. We can just get together and kick it and have fun doing it. Why not? So
exactly.
So here we are, 2 episodes deep, and Nick's Wrestling Pod is a year in, and Top Rope Wrestling Talk is a month away from 2. I can't believe that.
Damn.
I don't know where the time went. I'm hoping we could sit here next year and talk about football. It'd be a year deep into the Sports Syndicate podcast. That would be awesome. But yeah, definitely check out the Universal Wrestling Podcast. You could search for it on YouTube. You can find it. You can find them on Twitter or whatever. I mean, if you want to plug yourself, please feel free. I'm not stopping you.
Twitter at the UW Pod and Instagram at UW Podcast. We're on Spotify, iTunes, Google, Podbean. So
Yeah, definitely. And definitely go check them out. I follow these guys. They're great. They're a part of the League of Extraordinary podcast with me and my co-hosts and a lot of other people. Shout out to Ivan for that, because he definitely brought us together. That was the first thing when I started this. I put something in the league group chat, said like, hey, I'm going to be doing a show. We're going to be covering football. Anybody that wants to show up, please feel free.
Hell yeah.
And now I'm starting to get guys, and there may be more. You never know. We that's why I call it the Syndicate. We're open to bringing other people in. We're open to have, big group shows where we're all making picks against one another. I was even talking about maybe having a League of Extraordinary podcast fantasy draft.
Hell yeah.
Like just record it on here. We'll all just go through and have fun with it. But as far as we're concerned, you can find this show and Top Rope on YouTube under TRWT parentheses a Fox Den John. Spike Lee has joints. I have Johns. there's the only, and you can find this particular audio podcast at anchor.fm/FoxDen, one word, no capitals. You can see all the platforms from there. You can catch Top Rope Wrestling Talk at anchor.fm/TRWT. As far as Twitters go, I don't really have one for this yet, but you can follow me at S_Philly Psycho with an S, and ask your questions about sports. You'll see me tweeting probably on Sunday, bring up something you want me to talk about on the show, whatever the fuck, and we'll go from there. You can find Top Rope on Twitter at Top Rope WT. You can find us on Facebook. You just search for Top Rope. You'll see the public group and the podcast page. Invite yourself and like the other. And Instagram is at top_rope_wrestling_talk. And that's pretty much all I have and all we have for this week. So thank you again for watching. Enjoy your weekend of football. I hope all your teams win. If they don't, there's always another week. Lord knows there's probably going to need to be another week or 2 or 3 for Eagles fans.
Yes, sir.
But everybody have a great time. Enjoy. We will catch you next week. Bye, y'all.
Peace.